In this video we're going to take a look at the Photon Sled from the Micronauts toy line. This toy line was produced by Takara in Japan and then released by Mego in the US, and in the UK here it was distributed by Airfix, as you can see here with the sticker on the box. These toys came out in the sort of 70s, from about 74 to about 80, when Mego went bust and they stopped producing them. After that the toys were bought up by another company called Our Toys and released as the Interchangeables and Cosmo Man, as you can see here on a carded Cosmo Man figure that I have. But today we're going to take a look at the Photon Sled. Photon Sled was a great toy. I had this as a kid and I absolutely loved playing with it. The good thing about this set, unlike some of the other Micronauts sets, is this one came with a figure. So not only did you get the Photon Sled here, as you can see in the photo, it actually came with a figure, so you didn't have to buy separate figures. So that's always a good thing, and especially when you got this as a Christmas present like I did, not having a figure would have been a real disappointment. The box is pretty nice. It shows an action shot on the front of the Photon Sled, sort of whooshing onto the side of the image there, and on the back you've got sort of a brief sort of almost a blueprint diagram showing you all the pieces that you get inside it, because these Micronauts things were always arrived in pieces, and it was like a kit that you had to put together. So let's open up this box and we'll see what we've got. First up, we can take the figure out. This figure has already been removed. I'm not breaking this box open just for this video, and this is a standard clear Micronauts time traveler figure. It's one of the sort of more common things that you see. These figures are sort of quite hard to get, really, because they're so delicate. As you can see, the wrists are incredibly thin, as are the plugs that the feet fit into, so they're often broken. So at the moment the figures are going for quite a premium on their own, but they're quite nice because you can sort of interchange the front panel here. If I carefully pull that off, you can see that the front panel swaps. You can swap that with your other sort of Micronauts figures. So let's put him aside for the moment, and then we'll see what's in the rest of the box. If I tip this out, you'll see that we get some instructions and a whole load of pieces. The instructions are fairly straightforward. It's not a particularly complicated toy. With Micronauts toys you can normally interchange bits of them with other vehicles. Normally the motor section, which you can see here, you can swap out with other vehicles, and all of the bits use fairly common sort of joints and sockets, so bits can be swapped about quite easily. So let's put the toy together. It's a fairly simple toy. It doesn't take much effort. As a kid it wouldn't have taken particularly long. I think the most fun I had with this was putting these stickers on when I was a child, because it's always nice to get a sticker sheet and get to get things put on in the correct places. Slot that in there. And here we have the finished Photon Sled. As you can see, it's not the biggest of vehicles. It's fairly small, but it's still pretty nice. It looks a little bit like a jet aircraft. This does have a sort of wind-up motor on the back. Originally you would be able to wind this little sort of thruster up, and then the motor would go. Unfortunately this one is broken. A fairly common problem on these Micronauts things. These springs are quite strong, and the bits of plastic inside just snap over time, so a little bit of a shame that. We can easily slot the Micronauts figure in. Again, you have to be a little bit careful with these because they're fairly sort of spindly things, but there we go. That's the figure sat in place. Overall it's a great toy. Really nice thing because it has some sort of good play value with it. The pullback motors are fantastic, the figures are nice, and it's just a nice looking ship. Very of its day, really. You can tell that this is a 70s toy. They wouldn't make things like this these days, but they're still nice things. And Micronaut stuff, although you see it on eBay quite often, prices tend to vary from being a bit on the high side to being sort of average. Figures are always more expensive. People seem to obviously want these time traveler figures, and as they break so easily, expect to pay a little bit of a premium for those. But they are overall very nice toys, and the fact that they come through various toy lines, Takara being the start, then Mego in America and Airfix, as I say, in the US. There are some variations that you can get across the figures. The Photon Sled box here, you'll see the US version doesn't have the Airfix sticker, so it's quite clear when you've got UK produced toys. Overall though, very nice toys. I do love these, and I'm hoping to get a few more in my collection as time goes on. So again, hope that's been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.